Today I'm going to walk you through what I believe to be the most consistent way of beating Everdark Libra. The character that I found to be the most consistent way of doing it is Guardian. Out of all the characters, in my opinion, he is the weakest Nightfare in the game, but lo and behold, weakest but not weak by any means. He is still very viable. And lo and behold, he is the one character that I have found the most success with when it comes to beating Everdark Libra. As a prerequisite, you do need to do basically a relatively long quest line, as well as already having beaten other Everdarks beforehand. But that is much better than relying on RNG to get like the perfect relic. So the relics should be on screen, the ones that I'm using. Basically, the whole gimmick of this Guardian build is to play around his ultimate. His ultimate, if you're unaware, is basically a team revive. It can insta revive 3 of our teammates, and that's if you do like the partial charge. If you do the fully charged version, it will temporarily create a protected aura which will make Guardian and his teammates invulnerable to damage for a very short period of time. And with the specific relic effects, you can also heal your teammate as well, which is quite a big deal, honestly. So yeah, the gimmick of this build is basically just to charge Guardian's ult as much as possible, because your teammates are going to die. They're going to die a lot. So the whole purpose is to get them up on their feet. Another really important tip is maximize on warming stones. As you can see here, I've got an inventory almost full of warming stones, because from my experience, I have noticed that my teammates run out of heals very often before the boss actually dies. So warming stones is basically just a way of keeping them topped up and keeping myself topped up as well, because one thing that you need to do with this boss fight is you need to stretch your heals as much as possible. You don't want to heal every single opportunity where you're low on health. You want to conserve your heals as much as possible, because those clones are so overwhelming. You will get hit very often, and you will also get hit by the spells very often. So you want to try to heal as much as possible using the warming stone, and basically relegate your flasks. As you can see now, I'm like going full warming stone. You want to relegate your flasks exclusively to emergency situations, because like I said, you cannot afford to die even once, but your teammates can die as many times as they like. Because this will be a long battle. It'll be a very long and drawn out battle, but you will just keep reviving them over and over again by constantly boosting your ult charge. Before starting the fight, always look for a deal that says I wish for resistance to ailments. That is just an absolute no-brainer. You lose a very negligible amount of stamina in return for resistant to madness, which is very important. In here, I went for a really risky option. I do not recommend doing this if you're not comfortable with the boss, but I'm doing it because I'm really comfortable, and that is that my HP and stamina is half for a specific duration. I think it's like 2 weeks. As you can see there, like getting hit by spells and stuff. My HP and stamina is up for like 2 minutes, but after that I will gain a really big boost. So again, I do not recommend taking that deal if you're not comfortable, but because I'm reasonably comfortable, I don't mind taking that deal. So phase 1 is super easy. If you've ever fought this boss, you know that the easiest part is phase 1. You can mow down phase 1 super easily, but phase 2, clone spam, this is where shit gets difficult. So my ult is currently up, and I'm just gonna save I'm gonna wait for my Oh, this is really bad. I was gonna say I was gonna wait for my teammates to get really low, and one of them is already dead, so I need to locate him. It's kind of hard to do so because my allies are hidden. You basically want to start using your ult when your first teammate enters into the 2-bar territory. Oh, yikes, look at that. Damn, you see, I'm really stretching my heels. Oh, there it is. I'm really stretching my heels because I only want to do it for emergency. And one really good thing about ult is that you can use his ult to give yourself a nice bit of heal as well. So as you can see, I'm become almost full from being at practically critical HP. One other really important thing, as you see, this is what I mean, is like you're occupied with the clones and the boss just spams spells while you're least expecting, and then you end up taking damage. Like, I was nearly full HP, now I'm like 2 clones because the boss teleported on me and I don't know that. One other really important thing to do is to not focus the clones super aggressive. You want to focus the boss every now and then, because if you focus the clones too aggressively, then you'll never damage the boss. Why did I not guard counter? So now this is when I'm gonna use Warming Stone to basically stretch out, heal without having to heal myself, because like I said, you wanna really use your heal for emergency purposes, because you are going to run out of heals often. You want to stretch your heals out as much as you can do. This is exactly what I mean about being overwhelmed. And generally the rule of thumb that I do is that you want to use your heals in a way that you always have more heals than the boss has. So right now the boss is at 2/3 HP, so if I use one heal, I'm actually like perfectly fine. I don't want, if the boss is at 50% HP, I should have more than 50% of my heals. That's the general rule of thumb that I follow. Always have more heals than the boss has. And if you can follow that rule, then you're stretching your heals really well out. So now I'm just working to get my ult charged up, which I do. I want to see if I can move the boss. No, I didn't. So I just end up reviving my teammate instead. That's fine. Okay, sick. We just lost a guy. I have no idea what that means, but sticking with the boss. Hopefully the boss is actually scaled down. And this is exactly what I mean. So this is an executed clone, and you can see that when I'm successfully blocking, I'm able to stagger the clone with each block. If that was a guardian or a raider, he would just not stagger at all, and then he'll hit me when I try to guard counter, which will end in me taking absolutely massive damage. Like right there, I just took massive damage, and the teammate came back. The boss is at 50%, so I guess I'll just go to revive again. My teammate is also really close to death as well. I ideally want them to group up so that they don't, I can revive both at once if need be. And another really cool thing is that I can block in front of the clone and revive my teammate, as you can see. Which is really nice. this is exactly what I think. Your teammates will die, but that's okay because you just don't stand like crazy. And yeah, now I'm gonna hold my off for a little bit so I can heal myself and heal him. The bad thing about that is that it does eat up more of my charge, so that way I have to charge my ult more. It's luckily I managed to block that on time, but this strategy it's definitely makes the boss fight super long. As you can see, the boss's health bar has been depleting very, very slowly. But at the very least, it is the most consistent strategy. It allows me to, and that was just like really shit time, and that was also super shit time. Like the boss does a spell the moment I do a block counter, and I think so. Now I use one more heal because the boss is on its final leg of HP. So it's fine if I use one heal because I still have 5 heals and the boss is at 1/3. So I'm doing good in terms of heals. But I actually did not think about it. I want to find an opportunity to get down. That was just pure. That was literally just like the most luck imaginable. But it's a good thing that we have the Noxtella. It's a good thing that we have the Noxtella buff, which allows us to basically get one full revive amongst ourselves. And this is exactly what I mean. This boss just overwhelms the shit out of you, and now I got blocked by madness, and I ended up taking all of that damage. It's just I'm literally just running, trying to find an opportunity so that I can heal, pick up the pellets off the ground so that I can reduce madness. I think I can use one more heal because I still have like 4 emergency heals. This is exactly what I mean. You want to use your heals for emergency emergencies. I have my ult ready in case my teammates go down. And that's that. But genuinely, I'm not really like super satisfied with this because we did get the Noxtella buff. So I want to show you one more game where this strategy carries without relying on, the additional heal. So here I am in post game editing. Basically, here I'm getting an example in which we do not have a lifeline. So I feel like the previous game was a bit of a cheat because we had the Noxtella buff, which gives us gives the entire team one free revive. So I want to basically give an example where you don't have um, a free revive and your teammates are constantly going down. Sometimes you'll luck out and you'll get like really good, really smart teammates who know what they're doing, and the boss is very doable. But sometimes you'll get teammates who keep going down, and I mean that in a way like with absolutely no shade. It is perfectly fine if you're not good at the game. It's perfectly fine if you keep going down because at the end of the day you're like learning or you're trying to enjoy. It's a video game at the end of the day. I have no issues with people who are people who are like, no easy way to put it, people who are bad at the game but trying their best. I have no issues with them, and I don't mind playing with them at all. But this is one example of that game where my teammates just die over and over again, and I'm basically just left to carry. And coincidentally, it is also where my teammates are a Duchess and an Executor. So as you can see in here, I have the eye on top of my character's head. So right now, my absolute first priority is getting my madness bar as low as possible, which I did, because when that eyeball reappears, it will fill your madness up to like half or more than half. That, as you can see, it appears right there, it's filling up my madness. So right now, my number one concern is you see madness just proc that in and of itself was like a super tight moment. And now both my teammates are dead. Use my ult. I managed to revive one of them, but luckily the other one is 1 bar, so he's easy to revive for now. And then my other teammate, the Duchess, goes down again. So yeah, still relatively easy to revive. 3 bars is where it gets easy. So yeah, the number one thing about this strategy is play for yourself, I would say. Uh, and therefore you need to kind of be a good player as well. You can use this strategy with other bosses as well, but with this boss specifically, you need to be a little bit good at the game, and you need to play for yourself, and you need to play for survivability because you are the team's um, defense. If you die, you can maybe afford to die once, maybe twice, because you'd be easy to revive. But if you die 3 times, you are very difficult to revive. So now you can see here, I'm really not using my flask at all. Like, I have 6 heals. The boss is almost half HP, but I'm still want to stretch my flasks as much as possible because you get into so many tight situations, you get into so many near-death situations in this boss fight, just like how it happened earlier in the fight where I nearly almost died. You get into so many near-death situations that you want to basically reserve your flask for a situation like that. There you go, right there. That was the second time in the boss fight that I was 1 pixel away from death. So that was like, okay, you know what? I will use a heal. I'm not gonna use a warming stone. I'll just use a heal. But with that, I managed to buy enough time to fully charge my ult. I was just smacking my teammate with my sword there just to like lower the clones in so that I could do a little bit of damage to them as well. Otherwise, I would have just revived my teammate immediately with the ult activation. So now another teammate went down. You want to, of course, be attacking the boss a little bit here and there as well. Don't exclusively focus on the uh don't exclusively focus on the clones. You wanna, if you can gain some distance between you and the clones, then hit the boss a little bit here and there as well to actually, like, build up damage on the boss. Otherwise the fight will literally take forever. So now here what I'm doing, when my ultimate is down and I do not have a high madness bar, my next priority is just charging my ult as much as possible. And doing that, beating the clones or blocking their attacks, basically, because of your res. So I have nothing to do. My main priority right now is to literally just charge my ult. So just block endlessly and do guard counters when I know it's safe to do them, when I've staggered the enemy. So the executor comes to attack me. He uses the waterfowl dance weapon skill, and once I can easily block all of it, and when I block it, he staggers, and then I can safely go for a guard counter. Uh, Hacking is also really important as well. So virtually anything that you do will charge your ult with the relic effects that you have. Attacking the clones, killing the clones, blocking their damage, virtually. So try to be as um, as proactive as you can, because if damage builds up ult charge, blocking builds up ult charge, killing the clones builds up ult charge, everything builds up ult charge, and you want to get your ult charge as quickly as possible. So now you can see, right now my madness is pretty high. So my priority right now is to look around the arena and try to find those golden orbs to reduce my mana gain. As you can see, I was hitting the boss there because I had a very clear opening to hit the boss. And you want to take openings when you can, because the boss, you have very few opportunities to hit the boss. So you want to take whatever openings you can get. Here I have another very brief opening. So I'm just doing a little bit of damage, then I'm just going to run away and back to charging my ult. I see that the Duchess clone is super low. That was a little bit risky there. I shouldn't have done a charged ult. I should have just been in my guard, especially because my max HP is cut by half. I can see that those chips are dropped on the ground, and I'm really taking big risks. This is not like a super safe strategy, as you can tell. Like you're still in super risky situations, but and now I have my ult fully charged, but I want to see if it's possible to revive my teammate. And as you can see, it was the Duchess was also helping me. So if you can revive your teammate without having to use your ult, definitely go for it, because like in this case we had like the Duchess ult making us invisible, and both of us were hitting the same guy over and over again. So in a situation like that, I could save my ult for the next time that they die. So that was like very useful. And already, like, you must have noticed by now that in the fight there have been numerous occasions, there's been like 2 or 3 occasions where both my teammates are dead and I'm the only one alive. So already this strategy has like paid dividends, because I've been the last man standing, I think, twice now. So if that wasn't the case, then this fight would already be over. And yeah, it's a super long and drawn out fight, and honestly, it can be a little bit boring at times. But damn, this is the most consistent way that I found. Here, both my teammates are going to damage the boss while I focus the clone. So this is exactly what I mean. You don't want to take the weapon passive less likely to be targeted, because you want the clone attention. Because in that situation, I distracted the clone, and 2 of my teammates were able to hit the boss freely and get like some decent damage off. So that was like it was very useful for me to not have that weapon effect. But my teammates should have that weapon effect so that they can hit the boss more freely. Here I ulted. I probably may not have needed to do that because we had the Executor ult as well. He could have potentially revived the Duchess, but that's oh well. Now again, my main priority is now fully charging my ult. So I start focusing the clone, start guard countering it, start hitting it normally, start blocking its attacks. That time is like, you'll have so many unlucky moments like that where you go for a guard counter, and like the millisecond you go for a guard counter, you'll get hit by a spell. So, and that's exactly what I mean by use your flasks as an emergency. Do not use your flasks as like a regular heal, like how you would do in expeditions. Use them as like the last line, the absolute uh last resort possible, which makes things risky, but it definitely allows you to have your heals when your teammates don't. Because you will also notice my teammates are going to die more, and you're going to notice that they're not healing. Why are they not healing? Because they have ran out of their heals. Uh, So you're going to notice every time from now on, when I revive them, they will stay at half HP unless I heal them with my ult. That's another really good thing about the Witch's Brooch relic effect, is that it allows you to heal your teammates when they run out of heals, which they will. Right now, my madness is really high, and I was thinking that the madness is going to proc on me because I don't see any madness orbs near me, so madness is going to proc on me really soon. so I might as well be full HP. So that was a very good call. That was a very good decision that I made there. I used my flask when I was above 50% HP, which normally I wouldn't do, but because I knew that madness was going to proc on me, and I was most likely also going to get hit by the clone while madness was procced, I fully healed to full. That way I could tank the madness and the hit, which I could. If I did not heal, that would have been game over right there, because the madness would have procced and the clone would have killed me. That would have been GG right there. And my two teammates have died yet again. So now it's literally just a slow grind to get my ult back. So I don't really care too much about dealing with the boss, because I don't have that weapon ability to reduce my aggro. Um, I don't really care about doing damage to the boss. I just care about doing damage to the clones to build my ult charge. Now I'm gonna use a warming stone to try to stretch my healing as much as I possibly can. And it's like, it is so bullshit, this boss, like, so many scenarios. Now I have a little bit of alone time, right? So now I can hit the boss because the clones are not chasing me. I can't revive my teammates because I don't have my ult. So this is like the perfect opportunity to smack the boss about a bit. As you can see, I'm not that great at it, but my madness is nearly full. Now I should run to my teammates because madness is almost about to proc on me. Pick my teammates back up. I don't care to solo the boss because look, he just spawns the clones again. Use my ultimate and use its charge to heal my teammates to full HP, and you'll notice that my teammates are never gonna increase their health ever. So I would assume that by now they have ran out of heals, so they're literally relying on my ult to get their health back. And there I picked up the golden ship. I didn't let the executor pick it up because, like I said, play for yourself first and foremost. It sounds selfish, but it is true. You are more valuable than your teammates, because there you go. Perfect example right there. My teammates don't live more than 1 minute, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I'm not trying to say that they're trash. Uh, and frankly, I do not care if they are weak players. I am perfectly fine with playing with weak players, because at the end of the day, this is a video game. We're just playing to have fun. But this boss is just that BS. It's that unfair that my teammates don't live longer than 1 minute. So play for yourself first and foremost. Prioritize your own safety. Prioritize reducing your own madness, even if you have to pick up the chips, and your teammate gets madness proc instead. Hoard the warming stones. Don't. I would say try not to give the warming stones to your teammates. Hoard them as much as possible, because you want to try to top yourself up as much as you possibly can. Here, I could potentially kill the boss. I could potentially take the rest of the boss's HP, but because Guardian does super low damage without another specific relic effect, that I'm literally only invested in just charging my ult, and I'll do damage to the boss when I get alone time, but I very rarely get alone time. Now, I swoop in again, reviving my teammates to full HP. Boss is a pixel HP, and he just gets finished off. I didn't count how many times I revived my teammate, but I think I might have revived them like 5 times at least. So that's the Guardian guide. I hope you enjoyed.